From your perspective, Doug, is Michigan competitive? And if not, why not?
So I think we have a larger role to play, particularly in the new jobs, the new economy of technology, innovation, and so forth, than we actually get credit for. Right? People don't generally think in tech of Michigan essentially as a growth state. I think it's evidenced by the fact that we have not actually grown our population and so forth. But neither do they actually think of auto actually as a tech industry, which actually is. The big challenge, though, is that as the World Economic Forum, they just had a report on the future of jobs. There's 75 million jobs that will be displaced by technology, with 133 million new jobs being created that are digital. And we have to fight harder for the jobs that remain in manufacturing. Our manufacturing levels are back up, but with a third less jobs. And in some cases, like an EV, as many of you know, it takes 30% less labor to actually develop. So we have to fight harder for not just the jobs that we have, but for the jobs of the future. And those really are driven by technology innovation.
We have to worry about K through 12. And when you look at where we stand in the state of Michigan, let's not go global right now. Let's just stay in the United States of America. We are 33rd in the 8th grade math scores, 39th in 4th grade reading. We're 41st in high school graduation. We have to invest in our children for the jobs of the future. And we have to have them graduate and give them a path for jobs that will be available. But people aren't going to come to this state when they look at those statistics and they don't have the talent here.
As a relatively new transplant to Michigan, I had never thought about coming to Michigan for tourism or livelihood prior to coming. And I came for a job, and I'm still here 6 years later, and I love it, and I'm here on stage, so thank you for having me. But the thing that we are missing is there's not a one-size-fits-all solution, right? There's many different populations of talent, some of whom come here for 2 or 4 years for university, and then some of whom leave. People that grew up here and went through the K through 12 school system and then moved along, or others like Doug and I that grew up somewhere else and would stay. So you can't have a one-size-fits-all solution, but people want a lot of the same things. They want to have a good life. They want to have a good job. They want to have mobility. They want leisure activities. And those are things that we have parts of, but we need to create a vision of the life that they could have that enables them to come join us.
We've got a long way to go. Jeff Donofrio at lunch talked about, where is our common shared vision of where our economy is going, what our industry needs, and how are we mapping to that, right? How are we mapping the skills of tomorrow that our industry of tomorrow, where we have competitive advantages, what are we mapping to that, right? How do we, ensure that we make the state more attractive for, especially young, talented people, and how do we then communicate that to people? And then finally, the sense of urgency, and all of our friends, John Ricolta has really been pushing on this, which is, we need a sense of urgency. We need action, not soon, but sooner than soon. And he's talking about a commission, or, maybe that's the right idea, but whatever we need to do something robustly, we need to do something big, and we need to do it quickly, and it needs to be in a bipartisan way.
So I'm grateful to be sitting on stage with leaders like this. Being here at a conflab, we have some of the best minds globally that are thinking about how to change the marketplace, whether it's healthcare, whether it's research, chemicals, financial services, mobility, you name it. So gratitude is to see for more, so we can't lose perspective on what we have. The second thing are two things that my dad told me. You have to be your own best critic, you have to be relentlessly objective, but you also be your own best cheerleader. We are very good at being the critic. We must celebrate what we have here.